Good morning, students. Let's start another English class today. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. This poem, that is the third poem from your English textbook Flamingo, is going to be our topic of discussion for the next 3 to 4 classes. Let me tell you in the very beginning that Keeping Quiet is a very significant poem in the current times when we are fighting so many challenges, some known and some unknown. There have been earthquakes, forest fires, this monstrous virus has come in the forefront, and we are dealing with all of these. Today, the chapter that you read in class 11th, An Ailing Planet, becomes so much more important for us to understand. Keeping Quiet can be read along with that chapter. I hope you all remember that chapter from class 11th. If you don't, I request all of you to read it once again. There we discussed of the many reasons that make our earth ill and our role in it. What are the things that we are doing wrong and how can we correct it? Remember, this earth is not ours. We have not inherited from our ancient people, but we have actually borrowed it from our grandchildren. So we need to take care of it. That was the lesson that we got in that chapter. And in Keeping Quiet, we get a similar message. We will come to that, of course, but let's begin now with a small introduction. Keeping quiet is actually a very common phrase, isn't it? Keeping quiet. You have heard of it so many times in class, from me as well. So tell me, is keeping quiet a good thing or is it a bad thing? Look at these images here. You can see in the first image that some men, they are beating an animal. And in the second one, you can see a person hitting another person. So these are violent acts, wrong things that happen in our society. So tell me, if these kind of things happen in front of your eyes, will you be keeping quiet, or do you think it should be your duty to raise voice against it? Yes, it's quite evident that if we see anything wrong happening in front of our eyes, we should not keep mum. We should always raise our voice. So that means I am saying that keeping quiet is not a good thing, isn't it? But no, keeping quiet is not a good thing when it comes to these kind of wrong things happening in front of your eyes. For taking a stand, for fighting for the truth, it's always good that you do not keep quiet and you raise your voice. But when you take that decision of raising your voice, when you take that stance, when you decide what is wrong and what is right, before you do the action based on your opinion, on your judgment of whether something is wrong or right, you take a moment, isn't it? You have to decide. And that short duration of time when you are actually thinking, you're thinking of the repercussions of something, you're thinking why or what makes this wrong and what should I do. That moment when you are thinking, that is when you are keeping quiet. And that matters a lot. If you do not have that calmness in your mind, if you do not keep quiet for a second to think, to contemplate for your course of action, then I don't think you will have a very productive result. So you should think, look before you leap. This is a very common proverb which told us that before you took any action, you should always think, analyze that what could be the results of your action. So acting upon something or taking a decision or doing something for the society is always good, but there is this short duration of time where you need to think, of your actions, and that time period is what the poet is highlighting here. See, you need to think, your intelligence will be at work, you need to brainstorm, you should be looking for solutions, you should be analyzing, your logic will come to work, you will be searching for correct answers, you will be rational. So for these things to happen, for your mental faculty to work, for your thinking process to be sharp, you need to keep quiet, get away from all the hustle and bustle of life, take a break and think of your actions, think of what you're doing in life. Just imagine a day in your life when you start after waking up and the entire day just goes by without giving you any scope to think. So the poet actually doesn't mean that you have to keep quiet, and by keeping quiet you should just stop thinking also. No, he means that by keeping quiet you should start thinking. Here in connection with this poem, there are two words which are very important. One is introspection and the other is retrospection. Do you know the meaning? If you look at the images, you will actually be able to guess the meaning even if you do not know the meaning. Introspection has the word inspection in it. Retrospection also has the word inspection in it. And inspection means to examine. But introspection means self-examination. The examination or observation of one's own mental and emotional process. You can call it self-analysis, soul-searching, self-observation, thinking, musing, meditation, pondering, reflection. So when you look within yourself, when you inspect your own self, that is called introspection. And what's retrospection? You can see this brain thinking about the past events. So retrospection is the action of looking back or reviewing past events or situations, especially those in one's own life. So introspection means, as I just explained, looking within yourself to understand yourself. And retrospection is looking at some past events. So sometimes we need to keep quiet. Look at
Now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still. For once, on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment. Without rush, without engines, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fires, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers, in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no drug with that. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now, I will count up to 12. And you? Keep quiet. And I will go.
So let's look a bit deeply. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. So the poet is asking us to keep quiet till he counts till 12. Right. So don't you think there is some significance in this word 12 here? Why is the poet asking us to keep quiet till he counts to 12? Now 12 here signifies time, a considerable amount of time. The poet wants us to keep quiet. He is spreading that message. Now 12 denotes time very significantly, as 12 can denote 12 months, which make a year, or it can also denote 12 hours of the day. Look at your clock and you will see there is markings from 1 to 12. So the poet is asking us, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. And in this stillness, he will find a meaningful silence. Now, the poet wants all of us to be calm and still. Then he says, for once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. The poet asks us to not speak in any language. Now, if we have to be quiet, first of all, we need to stop talking, right? The poet wants us to be still and not talk. And he says, let's not speak in any language. If you think, don't you realize this thing, that language is also a means which creates barriers in the society? There are so many languages, there are so many things that divides the people. And language is one of them. So people across the nations, they will unite together. So they shall not speak their own languages. Rather, they all shall keep quiet and speak the language of silence. And when everyone is silent, they will be united because of that because they will be all doing the same thing, the common thing, right? On the other hand, if they keep talking in their own languages, that is, they are upholding their barriers. So they have to let go of these limitations, barriers, and be united together. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. That is, all the argument, fightings, wars, violence, it should all stop. Let's not move our arms so much. Arms are, yes, our arms, which with the help of which we do a lot of activities, and arms also mean the weapons that are used. They are called arms and ammunition, right? So let's stop for 1 second and not talk in any language. That is, let's be united and let's not move our arms so much. So let's not do any kind of harmful activities. The poet then says that it would be an exotic moment. Without rush, without engines, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness. The poet calls it an exotic moment. Do you know what's the meaning of exotic moment? Exotic means splendid. Exotic is unusual. So if everyone is keeping quiet, it will definitely be a splendid moment because it doesn't really happens a lot. So it would be an exotic moment. There will be no rush. People will not be, moving around here and there in their own lives. There will be no engines. We all would be together in a sudden strangeness. It's a sudden thing that is going to happen because it has never happened before. People do not usually come together. So it will be a splendid moment with reduced industrial activity. The silence, the peace would form the common link between all of us, bringing us all together. There is not a common thread that unites a lot of people. Apart from the fact that we are all humans, we have so many things that make us different from each other. Our language, the regions that we come from, the nations we belong to, all the cultural differences that we have. So if we all have to be common, the best way is to contemplate and think together, and that silence can bind us all together. So you can see the build-up that was there in the presentation initially, the retrospection and the introspection. You can find a place here that the poet is asking us to keep quiet. Why? Do you think he's bothered about the sound or noise that we are making? No. The poet wants us to take a minute, a break from the daily life that we lead on. Without thinking, we just keep doing our things. Our parents, if you ask them, they get up in the morning, they go to the duties, they come back, they sleep, and the next day the cycle is on. We do not have enough time to retrospect. We do not have enough time to introspect. Try writing something about your philosophy of life. Have you ever got the time? Because we are busy with syllabus, studies, what we lose is precious time, or what they call the me time. That is the time when we think about things. So the poet wants us to have that silence, that calm, that peace of mind where we are thinking of a better tomorrow, when we are thinking for everyone collectively. When we go on with our own lives, we are actually being very selfish because we are just completing our motives and our goals. But if we stop for a second and we think for everybody, that will be actually something fruitful.